Hello everybody, welcome to Rewrite Your Reality with Reese. I am your host, and today going to talk about the quote experience, feeling it real, because quite often we don't necessarily know what that means. So I just decided to phrase it maybe another way that people will understand from another perspective, and then thereby understanding what feeling it real means. So the other way, did you feel what you wanted to feel? Whatever desire you were feeling, right? You typically here go to your end and stay there. And the end of what? The end of where? The end of who? It is the end of who, right? Because it's the end of the identity you desire to be. The identity lived a life. A life that is created via these frames, right? Frames of reality strung together by you yourself. You are basically experiencing a version of that string every time you imagine yourself in your end or revision. Doesn't really matter. It's the same reality of basically I am pointed to wherever you desire to be experiencing, knowing that it's all here, right? People often speaking from the point of already having experienced consciously their physical manifestation of what they wanted, usually just tell you go to end, because it is actually that simple, but it gets a bit confusing because it's so simple. Right? So here's the thing. You've already experienced this too, even if you were unconscious of what you were doing. But now you've reached this point of consciously awakening, shifting your perspective to knowing that imagination is reality. Right? You hear the phrase, feel it real. On paper, it sounds simple, but what does it actually mean? When you have a desire, it lights up something inside you. You are the thing that is lighting up. You are lighting it up. You are being lit up. You are lighting yourself up. All of it's light of you being you. It stirs a specific feeling, right? A vibration of being that's already built into the desire itself. That's you. Right? Doing that to you. It's your consciousness illuminating a version of yourself that already exists. When I say version of yourself, I do not mean a physical thing, right? A physical version of you only. I'm talking about the actual reality of it, right? I'm talking about the actual reality is being lit up, where you have a anchored physical viewpoint where you experience it from. Think of an actor. Actors have a bunch of movies, right? But each movie is dedicated to a version of that actor as a character. But the character does not exist outside of his movie, right? You can't stick Ethan Hunt in Star Wars or something like that, right? It doesn't work. Because even if Tom Cruise was actually in a Star Wars movie, he would have a different character. It could even be named Ethan Hunt, but it wouldn't be the guy from Mission Impossible. So the version of you and the version of that reality that you desire is one thing, right? So when you imagine, ask yourself, what does it feel like? When you ask yourself, what does it feel like? It says, well, what does it feel like to have all the money you desire? What does it feel like to hold the person you love and be held by them? What does it feel like to live the life you have been dreaming of? So I have another question. Maybe we can phrase it and understand it a little differently from another point of view, which is, did you feel what you wanted to feel? You wanted to feel something. Something was triggered by this desire. It couldn't have been the feeling of only fulfillment. It's fulfillment in and of itself, but you felt something. You didn't feel like, maybe this validates me. Maybe you did, but it can't validate you. Maybe you felt like, oh, this will make me feel brave, but it can't. You can't make you feel brave. None of that, because for the very simple reason, you are all realities. So none of it can make you feel anything. So, because what you truly wanted was the feeling itself, the experience of being in possession of what you desire, experiencing it, that's what feeling it real actually means, right? In my point of view, in any case. It's not about figuring out what you are supposed to feel. It's about actually feeling what you wanted to feel. So what did you want to feel? Feel that. Even if it is the feeling of feeling brave, feeling conviction, feeling love, feeling, I forgot the other one. Was it fear? Whatever. Right? Feeling whatever it was, feel it, it's fine. It doesn't matter. But no, it's not making you feel that. You are feeling it because it's you. It's something you already exist in and as, right? And when you do that, you've shifted your viewpoint to the identity of the one who is that person, right? The past is not real. It's not real. You have an expression of it, sure. You have some knowing expression that, hey, I experienced this, I experienced that, whatever. But it's your knowing as awareness that is recreating a version of that past in every single moment. It doesn't actually matter. At any given moment, the only story you could tell was the one that matched the stage you were in. You placed yourself there. So wherever and whatever past you think you experienced, the awareness of it is the existence of it. It doesn't exist outside of where it exists. Just like those characters in the movies, they don't exist outside where they exist. So whether or not you watched the movie or not, whether it's in your past, you're watching it now or later, it still exists in the same place. Just like whether you're watching your past now, then or later, as a memory in what we call memory, it doesn't matter. It only exists there, right? But remember that there is infinite. So there's infinite variations of that there. But it's all here and now because as awareness, everything is here and now. So all those frames just simply exist. And you can tell another story consciously when you realize you are awareness. Yes, that story is there, but the awareness of that story is not creating it, right? It's just being aware of a story that's already existing. Your knowing of a past version of reality simply existing is not you creating the experiencing of it. It's you acknowledging I am awareness and I am aware of this story that's there. It's nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with who I am now, who I say I am, because that's the only thing that matters. And as awareness, you can choose another story to tell. That might mean, rewriting the past from a perceived point in time, shifting to a timeline that makes more sense. And you feel this way, right? Sometimes you have a relationship in your past that somehow just doesn't resonate with you any longer. And then you reimagine it, not for anything specific, not to get it back or to experience it again or to even recreate this idea or another version of it. But just because the thought about it say, hey, this is no longer who I am, I would have experienced it this way. Well, why do you do that? Because you are this identity now. Or it might mean in the present moment, you're shifting your viewpoint by perceiving this moment right now differently. Because think about it, right? You are perceiving this moment right now. And we're all watching the clock tick at 57, 58, 59, whatever. But where's the past second and the second before? It's already gone. It's literally gone. I know it seems as if it's closer than 10 years ago, and your logical mind says it's closer than 10 years ago. If I throw this pen on the floor over there, I'm not going to see the one I threw 10 years ago over there. Yeah, but you know that. But you also know that it's gone to the same place where your memory from about 10 years ago and right now simply exists, coexisting. And for some reason, we are built this way. The further away it is, the more blurry it gets. For whatever reason, it's just to keep the game going. It doesn't actually do anything, right? So, go to your end, focusing on your future, which is also a now, and letting it unfold from the version of you you've chosen to be right now. You see, all three of those points, past, present, and now, have the same identity of you experiencing it. Because that version who experienced that relationship in that specific way can't be who it used to be. So it has to be a different frame. It has to be a different frame of now. Even if you just experience something that you don't prefer, your preference of identity comes out and re-experiences it right then and there in the moment as awareness. Or your future frame. All of it existing now in awareness, saying, no, this is what I choose to experience, this idea, this reality, this version of myself. Whomever and whatever and however they are, this is who I am right now. I'm choosing to express that. Right? Go to your end and stay there in awareness, knowing that this is the timeline I've picked, chosen, decided that I am. It is done. Your focus on it as that reality already created it. Now it's unfolding. That's all, right? So I am loving being in here with you. So this was a little affirmation that like popped into my mind. And I thought it was quite wonderful because of the way that it's expressed, right? I don't even want to take credit for it, to be honest, right? Right now, in imagination, standing fully present with whomever or whatever, right? Acknowledge that this is imagined. By saying, I am loving being in here with you. You are acknowledging, hey, I am imagining this. You're not pretending. I'm acknowledging that I'm imagining and experiencing the memory of this event. You're consciously knowing you are creating it. You're consciously knowing that you are it. It doesn't make it any less real, right? Even though those fearful things you know you are creating doesn't make it any less fearful. You still sweat, right? I am here. I chose this and I am loving it. That's exactly what you did. You are loving being in here with whatever. Right? Your presence, their presence, the presence of the reality that is surrounding you, within you. It's a reflection of who you are now. That I am of abundance, that I am of infinity. There's no need to question. Did I manifest that person in my reality, my specific person? Did I manifest them correctly? Did I get every little hair on their head in the right place? Right? Should I act differently? That's just old scarcity sneaking in, right? It's like finding $100 in your account and you don't really care. You're like, oh, cool. And then you just carry on with the day. You love being it. You love being in that state. You love being with those versions of those people that are there already present within you. It's already there within you. You're just calling it forth, right? The mutuality, the warmth, the attention, the joy, it's all flowing naturally. There's no mental gymnastics here. There's no forcing. There's no measuring. There's just you being right then and there. Just a pure, simple feeling of I am loving being in here with this, with that, with you, with whomever. I'm loving being in here with you, right? I am, as awareness, loving because I am love, being because I am being it, in the being of it, in here, in my imagination, with you, my higher self, manifested as my physical self, my own consciousness, and everything else. I am who I say I am. Just a fun little affirmation there if you wanted to play with it. And here's the thing, dissolving the unwanted, right? Dissolving the unwanted. So you have imagined what you have enjoyed, what you have loved. You felt what you wanted to feel. Cool, wonderful, Reese, that's amazing. But right, you've enjoyed it, you've embraced it, you go about your day, and then what pops in? That, right? The unwanted. Either in physical circumstances or in inner circumstances of thoughts and feelings of, past things that have happened that you felt and then you dragging along with you, right? Remember, you can't drag along anything with you. You are reality. You are reality all the time. You are reality everywhere. You are everywhere all at once. You don't carry stuff with you. You are just expressing all the stuff that is already within you. Here's the thing. You call them unwanted, but they're just frames of reality. It's like watching a horror movie and saying, I don't like the scary part. It's just within you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't come out on its own, right? If you allow them to simply exist, right? Allow the emails and the messages and the bills and the letters saying, hey, you don't have money, but we're still gonna charge you. Allow that all to just exist. It does anyway. No, nothing I say or you say is going to make those little pages of paper dematerialize. But what we can do is allow it to just simply exist. From the knowing we are reality. From the knowing you are reality. Right? Allow the version of reality where a specific person is with someone else. Even those random thoughts about them cheating on you. Right? It pops up. Things pop up. Things that you're familiar with pop up in certain ways. You don't know why. It doesn't matter. Make it not matter. Make it not matter to the point where it can literally stay there. Stay there. You're going to die on your own because I'm not giving you any energy. I know you're one with me. I know that you can only stand there, be there, exist there with my attention. So my attention is knowing that, you exist, not as my choice. So enjoy your 10 seconds of spotlight and then it's gone. It comes back, goes to it again, it's gone again. It doesn't matter. It's only one version of reality, a version of I am not, right? Images of it. Just images of another viewpoint that just exists. It doesn't feel good because it's not your chosen version of reality. And you can imagine that same scenario with someone else that has nothing to do with you, and you can see how quickly that story is something you don't care about whatsoever. So it's not the story that affects you. It's whether or not it's stopping your chosen reality. It's not. So who cares? It doesn't feel good because it's not your chosen version. It doesn't mean anything. All of that is nothing. Why? Because it just exists. Right? Imagine reality as this massive tapestry, right? And you like this magnifying glass. And as you keep moving, you keep seeing yourself in different scenarios with different versions of the same people, or different people altogether if you want to just have a little bit of a jump. Right? It never changes what previously happened, doesn't change any other part of it, doesn't rearrange it, doesn't do anything. Right? It just shows you what's happening in all of reality. Nothing can be changed. You can only understand that all of it's happening right now within the greater divine mind. You are that greater divine mind having a localized experience. Even the idea of this tapestry is just an expression, right? Everything is actually non-local knowing. And really, take a moment here. I wasn't going to do this, but let's just do it. Take a moment here, right? And realize no matter what's going on, there is a innate knowing inside of you that is just non-local, the knowing that you are. It's non-local, non-physical knowing. You just know. It's the same feeling when you have a sentence that you want to speak. When you have a sentence you want to speak, and you somehow have no idea the rest of the sentence, but you just talk and it comes out. Where's it coming from? You're knowing. You as knowing itself. You're knowing that reality unfolding. It's as simple as that. Like literally when you speak a sentence out, it is you knowing the idea of what it is you want to convey, and the experiencing just naturally flows from you. That's why when you're trying to remember something that you read, when you're doing like an oral or something, right? And you're giving a presentation and you get a bit flustered. It's because you're trying to remember something, opposed to just knowing the idea and letting it be spoken. That's the difference, right? So those unwanted thoughts dissolve because you stop resisting them and simply allow it to be. You don't do anything. You are the chooser. It's all part of all that you are. You already know that, and what you have chosen to be is allow everything, knowing you have chosen from that everything what you choose to now be. That's your freedom of choice, right? So, my script is, I forgot what was coming up on my script. So, if you love movies, I love movies. The movie Men in Black, more the first one, the second one also has this idea, but the movie Men in Black and reality creation has a very cool visual, very cool understanding, right? So it's a perfect visual from this. There's a part where they're sitting on the bench and they're just talking, and Kay is talking, played by Tommy Lee Jones, is talking about the normality of reality. Right? They're talking about aliens and all, but it's basically, if you think about it from reality creation, you're talking about the normality of reality, right? How people just go about their day. We have a really good idea of what's going on, past, present, now stuff. Yeah. And then Jay says, no, but if you tell people, they'll understand, right? And Kay says it's difficult for people who are basically ingrained in knowing what they are consciously being aware of is not actually reality, right? There's a hidden layer of what's going on, and that layer is actually you. So in the first movie, I really like this. Everyone thinks a galaxy must be made of billions of stars. Even the people, and this is where this idea comes from, right? So because you hear in the comment section, coaches tell you this, coaches tell you that. Even I'm saying stuff. And it gets to the point where you become aware of a certain version of reality, which is what Jay, the main character, was experiencing. Right? I'm actually ad-libbing here a little bit. And Jay came to the realization that there is a galaxy here or on Orion's belt or somewhere. There's a galaxy somewhere right here that we just can't understand and see. And even the people representing, thoughts, feelings, doubts, who exist within the movie, tell him, no, that's impossible. Even if they are involved in what they consider impossible, that the other normal people will not understand. When you get coaches saying things to you or you hearing them, remember, you are the one creating all of that, right? So they have this galaxy that they don't understand. It's like, how can it be small when it's big? Even if they are the ones who are saying, oh no, there's another part of reality. So it turns out the galaxy is actually a tiny thing that fits into your hand, right? This entire massive galaxy exists within another galaxy in the palm of your hand. So theoretically in the movie, you can have an infinite number of galaxies within one. So you can have infinite number of realities within your experiencing of reality. You can have infinite number of things in the infinity of what you are. I just love that representation. It's a very simple thing. And then at the end of the movie, what it shows you is that it zooms out of Earth and do this, right? Imagine yourself as this. Zoom yourself out of Earth, zoom your own awareness out of it, just see it all happening. See the galaxy happening, see the universe is happening, see all the galaxies. It zooms out and then it's in a tiny marble. And there's like a really massive being playing with it. And you can do that again. You can zoom out of that, and there's another massive being playing with it, and you can just zoom out. You can carry on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. That's reality. Size, irrelevant. Time, irrelevant. Distance means nothing. Reality just is. Everything exists all at once. Even in the movie, everything everywhere all at once is beautiful. Check that out, right? So whether you experience a version physically or non-physically makes no difference. If you do experience it, it has no meaning beyond the meaning you give it. It's just part of the perfect unfolding of who you say you are. And that doesn't mean you're not going to experience your reality physically. You are here to experience the physical nature of your being from a choice. The power of affirmation. Sometimes you feel as if the power is in the affirmation, and it can really put you in a knot sometimes where you think, I'm trying to get this right. It's not in the affirmation. The affirmation is nothing more than your agreed upon expression of what you are believing and choosing to now be true for you. The affirmation is not what changes your life. You have changed your life, and you are affirming through this affirmation your confirmation and evidence that I am this now, and I'm using this as just a 3D physical representation of who and what I say I am. I don't need it. Even the other affirmation I mentioned earlier, you don't need it, right? It's like saying NevilleGoddard's "I remember when." You're standing in that reality, and as that reality, saying, "I remember when I wasn't actually standing here," and you are remembering physically being here, even though you are imagining the physicality and expression of being here in imagination, wherever that here is. The words don't matter. You choose them because they resonate, because they point you to the knowing itself as awareness, expressing that physical version of you here in this reality. And that's what that phrase means, right? I am loving being in here with you. I am your awareness, loving because you are love, being in here, the reality you have chosen, with you, your higher self manifest as everything. I am loving being in here with you, right? It's acknowledgement of you seeing your version of reality, your version of your home, your version of your experience of wealth, your version of your reality. And knowing that you are the one with your own awareness, that you are the creator of it, which is the creation and oneness of all of it. That's who you are. That's reality, and that's feeling it, feeling what you wanted and dissolving the unwanted. And when you know that, what's left? Nothing. You are all of it. And the scripture says this, right? Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. What does that really mean, right? It means that whatever you have prayed for and asked, believe that you have received it. Because believe you have received it. Because often we believe that the image that we receive in prayer, or rather imagining, is something that we're still waiting to receive. But you just got the gift and you're waiting for another one. No, it's the same gift unfolding again, continuously at the same time. It's just that in imagination, it's immediately the expression of the part of the desire that's just resonating with you the most strongest. But that same gift is your life now unfolding, being unwrapped and expressed. That's who you are. You don't try to get the gift and open it. You already got the gift and it's opening. So that came out quite nicely. That's why I always get like fascinated when something just flows out like that during a video that I don't have here on my script. Anyway, that being said, thank you for the beautiful comments and questions on the previous videos. Much love and much light to you guys. Truly, thank you for the love. Thank you for the liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, joining, following, just general checking out the channel, right? Doesn't really matter. All of it's wonderful, all of it's beautiful, and thank you for all of it. Thank you for joining the TikTok page. Thank you for joining the Facebook page, and thank you for being here. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.